All right, good day, and welcome to another episode of the RotoFest podcast. We are live from the Detail Doctors. Super excited. Sorry, we're running a little bit late today. That was my fault. I came into Steve's shop and realized I ran off without power for the laptop and can't run the machine without power. So anyway, we have Rasheed Baker and Tommy Ramos from Angelwax today. We wanted to talk about an upcoming training in the Boise area. We're going to be leaning into detailing cars and boats and highlighting the Angelwax system. So good morning, gents. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Well, it's afternoon time actually.
Yeah, you're over East Coast, right? In hot, swarmy Florida. So
Oh yeah,
What part of Florida?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, and Tommy's on the other side of things. He's in Las Vegas. So, and if you're wondering where Rod is actually surprisingly on vacation this week. He's been dropping in and out of communication, but for the most part, Rod is off in the mountains having a good time. So.
Is he at his cabin?
Yeah, he's up at the cabin with his wife. I think they're celebrating the birthday. I think Rasheed's stepping out of the conversation.
Yeah, they're super loud. So we're gonna take you out here where the boats are.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not at my shop. This is one of my buddies. He's a mechanic, and these are all the boats that they work on. So I'm over here because one of their employees are leaving. So we're gonna do a lunch. So I'm just gonna go sit on one of their boats, and we're gonna do it out here.
that's awesome. Well, since we're talking boats, let's talk about what we have in store coming up here in Boise on April 24th, 25th, right? 2 days.
Yep.
And we're going to have a automotive detailing event as well as boats. But let's talk about boats. I was just in your shop, a week and a half ago?
Yeah,
And
something like
I
that.
can attest that Rasheed knows all things boats.
We try. Not all things, but I try. And if I don't know it, then I know somebody who does.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I was just going to say this training is perfect for being boat season. But then that prompted me to ask Rasheed the question, is there such a thing as boat season in Florida? Do they even say that up here? Because it's so nice down there year round.
So right now, it depends. Like this winter, we had a cold winter. Normally, boat season kicks off. What's the first holiday? Memorial Day?
Yeah.
Not Memorial Day. So that's the first season kind of kicks off there. It'll go all the way. We've had it go November. We've had it go into December when it's hot. It's been 90 degrees on Christmas, so it just depends. But right now, it's ramping up. Like here, they've got, there's probably 20 boats out here that they're working on for people trying to get their boats done ASAP.
Yeah, so that's kind of like Idaho. So I actually last night I got stuck taking my daughter to buy a new car.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Did she get the Bentley?
She got the Mazda 3. She got the car that she wanted. We were there at about 9:30, but on the way out I was like, "All right, it's time to unwrap the boat." And because me and my family, dude, as soon as it hits 65 here, 70, we're out on the water. So it's hitting those marks. So we're about ready to go. So we're going to take a look at what it takes to get a boat ready, as well as look at some oxidation. And so let's talk a little bit about that, because I know that there's a lot of detailers that they already have their vehicle game locked in, but they have maybe entertained boats, but maybe aren't sure how to get started. And this is a great opportunity. So, what's the biggest difference in boats and cars?
Everything on a boat can get wet. So I started boats back in 2009. I've always done cars. and a buddy worked as a harbor master and was like, "Hey, we're looking for a detailer." I said, "I don't know how to wash a boat." He said, "Everything can get wet." So that was like, okay, everything, I can just rinse everything off, perfect. And we went from there. Um, the difference is gel coat is a whole lot harder than the clear coat, but then you want to make sure also that you know the difference between the gel coat or if it's a marine type paint. The bigger boats, the go fast boats, Nortex, and some of those, a lot of those are painted with base and clear. So you have to know that also, just you know, so you don't put yourself in a pickle.
Yeah. What's the biggest challenge with detailing boats?
That everybody thinks their boat is worth $1 million. You know,
Jody does.
they could have a
No, I
14-foot little dinghy, and that thing worth $1 million, and it's not. A prime example of that boat that I have in the shop, it's a '96 Century. It's probably worth maybe 20 grand, and when we get done with it, when everything's all set with the electronics and all that, he'll probably be close to like 300, 350 in it. He'll never get that money back ever. But it has sentimental
350 grand or $350?
350,000.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Crazy.
no. I would have just bought a new boat.
But so I think it has sentimental value because of his grandfather. But the amount, what you could, I mean that's just ridiculous. But you could rebuild a boat better than you could buy a new one.
That's probably true.
So
That's probably true.
and we've seen that when the COVID boats were out. So what is that, like 20, 21, 22? The building just got a whole lot cheaper. They were like, let's just push all this out. They pushed it out, and you could tell all the material was different. You're starting to have all those issues now from the COVID boats.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I was down in Santorini last year, and Judy and I went on a sunset catamaran cruise. It was like 5 hours, and I really connected with the captain. And he was actually the first charter place in Santorini. And he said, "Yeah," he goes, "I would not buy any catamaran post 2020." Because the way that they've built the molds now, he goes, you can see shadows on the outside of the boat when you're
Oh yeah.
inside. He goes, they're so much thinner. He goes, I would not buy anything later than 2016, ideally.
Mm-hmm. It was just, if you got to think, everybody had a ton of money. You couldn't do anything. So the only thing, like Florida never shut down. So boating was what everybody did. And if you were not a boater, you bought a boat and you learned how to boat. And so now all those people are coming out of it like, okay, I don't need a boat anymore. And so you got stuff up for sale, but they're not built the same.
Yeah. Well, and this definitely is a prime time for boats. I mean, you're probably starting to see it in your shop where people are calling, I need to get my boat ready for the season. What's the big thing that catches your customers?
That catches them. What do you mean?
Like for example, if I come and I'm doing a spring refresh, right? I think a lot of times, people just think, oh, I can just drop my boat in the water and go.
Yeah.
Right. But there's a little bit of preparation that needs to be done. I mean, I know what I do, but that's because I already know what to do. But what do you see catching people?
The thing that we always try to do is train our customers, because out here in Idaho, you go from 30 degrees to 60 degrees in the matter of 30 days, and so it's tough that once you get to a certain temperature, everybody is calling at the same time. I want my boat in. I want my boat in. So for our longtime customers, we'll send out those emails throughout the winter time. Like, now's a good time, and people kind of catches them off guard, but training them to bring their boats in, February, end of January, when it's still really cold, but so their first one's on the water and they're not missing that prime boating time because their boat's in the detail shop.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that. They'll come into Christmas and they'll forget about it. They'll go into January and it starts getting a little bit cold, and then February they're like, oh shit, I got to get my boat done. and then everybody swarms at one time because everybody wants to be in that first holiday, and it makes it for a nightmare because they're worried about them, not you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. That's a beast.
Mhm.
So, Tommy, let's talk a little bit about the Angel Wax lineup, both for the products, both for the boat side as well as the marine side, as well as the vehicle side. What are we going to be highlighting?
Ceramic coatings, obviously, and I'm not sure what we're going to bring as far as marine stuff goes. Um, Probably all the maintenance stuff, and especially the hybridized 180, because we all know that's the truth. And
Yes, it is.
and I'm trying to talk Rick into sending out some other stuff that we can kind of go over, maybe some new compounds and some new industrial.
Yeah. So do you guys have a new compound for boats yet?
We're working on it. We're working on it. We
So I
figure
was
we
hoping we'd
when
get a
we when
sneak peek.
we're working on it. When we again when you were here, we talked about the egos and we talked about that whole thing. And Rick and Tommy seen that we needed something more aggressive for boats because that's just not Angel Wax's cars. They're not boats. So now I'm figuring out, kind of what we need. We have a map. Now we're just going to connect all the roads to it. Um,
Yeah.
and I think when we get to that point, I think it'll be amazing because we do have Rick, we do have Tommy, we do have John. That when you give them your advice, they actually listen, and within 3 or 4 days, you got product to test out. It won't have a label on it, but you'll have product.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
it's interesting because I've made some local calls to people and invited them to the training. And one of the things that I got that I'd like you guys to address is they're like, "Yeah, well, I'm kind of loyal to the products that I use right now, right?" And my response is it's not so much, yes, it is about the products. It's introducing you to something that might be a good fit for you. But there's, oh dude, every training I go to, I learn from the trainer. I mean, something, I pick up something. And before we went online, Steve was asking, all right, what's the format of the training? And Angel Wax's trainings are a lot more loose than others are. And maybe speak to that a little bit, Tommy, and why people should invest their time in coming to any training, even if it's not something that, product that they're enamored with.
I for one can appreciate loyalty. Because really there's not a lot of it. So the guys that remain loyal to the brands that they use is pretty amazing, and I really do admire that. But at the same time, you can be loyal all you want, but you could be loyal to a brand that doesn't necessarily have the one thing that you need or have something strong enough to do something. And at that point, it's okay to just go out and see what else is out there. If you start using another product because it works on one specific thing, boats, like just we'll use that as an example, you could be loyal to Stark and use all their stuff, but maybe their compound isn't strong enough, and maybe we have one coming out that is. It's okay to try it, and if you like it, go ahead and use it. You're not giving up your loyalty to that other brand because they're your go-to, but sometimes you just have to have something different that works better.
Yeah.
And that's what we strive to do. From the day one, I've always been, I don't want to be your only guy, but I want to be a go-to guy. So
Oh,
that
I
and
like
that's and that's what I've been working on over the last 9 years.
well, and that's a good
Yeah, I
example
found
about.
that with the.
Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, no problem. I was just going to say, with some of the best trainers that we've traveled the world, Jody's been there, just it's not one brand. It's
yeah.
exactly what you said, Tommy. It's having a solution for each problem. And if you have one banner in your shop and you're like, oh, that's all I use, that's a pretty ignorant stance to take as a detailer. And and sometimes you'll be at a shop and they project that that's all they use, but when they open up the cabinet, well, it's you know how it is, and it is how it is. There's nobody makes the best of everything, and so that's Glad you brought that up. That's so
And
true.
that's why yesterday when I made that video, John Carlos left me with some Rupes, Ken Mercer and Jason sent me some Stark. I've got my stuff for Angelwax, and we're just going to put it all on there because we don't have something that works quite as well as somebody else's. Now we know what we need to bring to the table to get on that same playing field.
Yep.
And that's what I like about Tommy and Rick. They're like, listen, you do you, get the job done. You know, promote us, but get the job done. Again, because my one compound isn't going to work for every boat. I mean, you looked at I got so many compounds on the cabinet, and I kind of have a base of where I'm going to go with it, but I change it as I'm going along the boat because it's not working, you know. And I do like that about Angel Watch. They give me that freedom. There was other brands that didn't like that. They didn't have a specific product for boats, and one product doesn't work for everything. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
On the training side, I can say that when we were down in Houston at the Lone Star Museum of Flight with Josh Hernandez, uh, Rain, it was so interesting when you're talking about the level of experience before we jump on the call, Tommy, of anybody coming to the training, that Rain would be working with a detailer that has been at it for 10 years and being informative and teaching him. And then he would turn over to the detail kid that's very new to the industry, and he would teach to his level. And it was to watch Rain be able to just pivot and teach so everybody's learning. You're not talking above somebody, you're not talking below somebody.
That was one of my favorite parts about Houston, and just proved to me that bringing Rain in was a great decision.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of trainings like as you have, and it's interesting. Rain really does have a gift of being able to assess where somebody is and go, all right, you know what, we're going to go a little deeper because you have this experience, or just a little tip of, you know what, in my experience, and he's very humble. It's like, in my experience, I would do this. So it's not in your face. It's just like, hey, here's an option for you to try. And I've watched people like these stoic, strong faces go, kind of let the guard down a little bit and go, all right, I'm going to listen to you because I don't feel like you're trying to get into my face. You're really trying to come to me at a place of helping and serving. And that's one of the things that I really like about the Angel Wax training team is every one of you is coming at it from the standpoint of, yes, we'd like you to use our product. It may not be perfect in every single scenario, and we're making improvements and we're growing, but man, we're here to help you guys. I mean, you every morning, good morning, ninjas. What can I do to help? So
Every day for 9 years.
Well, you know where Rain isn't? Rain ain't on this call, so y'all quit talking about Rain.
He's probably
well,
listening to every word.
He is
yeah, well,
SOL today. Shit out of luck.
yeah. So, well, I will say this. It's and I mentioned this before, but when it comes to boats, there's not very many people in the industry that know as much about every aspect of boat repair, boat detailing, boat maintenance, boat everything as Rasheed.
I
Dude, we
appreciate
had
it.
a really good time in Jacksonville. We had that one boat that had that
Polyglot.
sealant on it that we had to
Yep.
strip off.
Yep. And we really didn't
and
strip
we,
a
we
lot of it off, but it's still shiny. You know. Again, I don't know everything, and if I don't know it, I'll tell you. But I'm guaranteeing I know somebody who does. I can give you any answer you want to know. But
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't.
that that's going to the trainings. That's networking. That's just putting yourself around the right people. Like right now, this kid's got his ass on my face. He's a mechanic. Look, and he's getting the boat ready. He's getting. This is Caden. Caden, say hello. How you doing? Talking to the world. How you doing? So he's getting the boat ready for service. About to go in the water.
Dude, I think we lost you, man. You were like doing the max headroom on us.
Oh, let's see. Look, can you see
So,
it?
man, I want to recapture that. So hopefully your internet, maybe it's our internet, but that whole segment that you were talking sounded like max headroom. So
Synthesizer.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, synthesized.
Can you hear me?
Tommy, are you hearing us okay?
Absolutely. Crystal clear.
So, yeah, well, that's good. Were you hearing Rasheed okay, or was that just me?
I think that was just you.
Okay, well then that's good. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt. It's probably on our end. So, actually, probably Randy's like streaming some videos in his head.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Well, anybody I'm talking to out here in the Northwest, I've never been to one of your trainings, Rasheed, but Jody and Rod just hold you on a very high pedestal, and I'm passing that along to everybody I talk to, and I'm excited personally. We've done boats, but never been officially trained on boats, and I think a lot of detailers out there are in that same position as me that the phone rings. Do you detail boats? Yeah, I do that. Just like anything else. But knowing the ins and outs, and I'm glad that you brought up that you had to strip something off. That's not your typical training. That's awesome when you have problems because that's the place to learn is when you have somebody like Rasheed and
yeah,
Tommy and Rain that can help you navigate that.
yeah, and it was fun because we talked about, all right, should we wet sand this? Where should we start on the wet sanding? Should we start at 600, 800, or even go down to 400, and work our way up? And a lot of times it's just trial and error. You're not sure exactly where you're at. So, but it's like, all right, let's do a test spot. Let's dial in the process here. And Rasheed was phenomenal about going, all right, guys, in this scenario, we're going to try this, and then step back, take a look at it. All right, let's adjust our process. And even when we got down, we're like, yeah, you know what, we probably should have taken it down one more level, but for this boat was just going to go into storage again. So we're like, it's good enough, right?
Yep.
So a lot of times it's just making that decision of good enough.
Right. There's that 80-20. We're going to see 80% of the customers going to see 20. Do you keep trying to fight it and keep chasing it? Because if you keep chasing it, you're going to kill yourself. But what I like about what Steve said was we didn't know till last year. And when you go to a training, everybody does a new boat. Anybody can code a new boat. Everybody can't correct an old shitty boat. And I had to step back and put my ego aside because Rain made a decision, but it was the best decision for the team. And now moving forward, we're like, hey, this is the way that we need to go at it. If we go at it this way, people are going to get more than what they paid for. Because you can look at this boat right now. There's cushion. You can make money off of the cushions. You can make money off of the sea deck. You can make money off of the motor cowlings. You can make money off the gel coat. So there's a bunch of money that can be made on this boat.
And that's where the training is invaluable of the knowledge. Like I said, I've done detailing on boats, but I don't know how to say that's more. Well, hey, you want that done, and it's making more money. It's too many guys. They say boat, borrow another 1,000, right?
Yeah.
But
break out another
for a
1,000.
yeah, I think a detailer runs into the same issue that we want a job. But yeah, I'll do that, and you just start pulling the cushions off and all the sand, and inside all the compartments, and you start to just get overwhelmed. And then next thing you know, you're trying to do a good job for the customer, but you're losing money doing it. Like I could have done 3 cars in the time that I'm doing this boat. So what you're saying, the knowledge that I think I'm personally going to learn is how to come out of that ahead, do it more efficient, be more educated on how to talk to the customer.
I'm listening to you
Forward
too.
to it.
Don't worry. All right, so I want to
Yeah.
show you
Looking forward
something.
to it.
So I want to show you something like prime example. Okay, so this is I think this is a Hydra Sport. Okay, so if you were to detail this boat, it's crappy like the other one we had. It's all faded. So you could make your money off of compounding, wet sanding, and all that good stuff. But then the money that you miss out on, let me get down, is those little spots right there. This is fiberglass. That's going to mess up. You can make money off of that right there. You could walk around this whole boat and find little areas that you can make money off of. Stress cracks, you got stress cracks around your cleats. When these get holes in them, we fix them. We repaint those. That's money right there. These brand new are like $3,000. You can repair them for $1,500, and you only got a couple hours of working in it. You know, you get stuff where you can replace rub rails. That's money. Screws are money. Everything on this boat you can make a ton of money on if you just give them the right information.
Yeah.
Well, customers have the BS radar. If you don't know what you're talking about, they're going to pick up on it pretty damn quick.
Correct.
That's me.
Yeah.
There's a
Well,
wealth of knowledge that's going to be passed around.
yeah. And the nice thing is, I got a great boat that we're coming. It's not a brand new boat. It's got some oxidation on it. It's going to be one of those boats where you could walk around with the customer and go, all right, this is what we need to do, and this is what we recommend. It should be something that we can knock out in a day, nice and easy, but good experience for everybody. So we got that lined up. And, Steve's opened up his shop for the 2 days. We're super excited about that. I'm sure we'll go out to dinner and have show you guys a little bit of downtown. So, yeah, it's going to be a good time. So, the event is April 24th.
25th and 26th.
25th and 26th. All right, hold on. We're all
It's funny. Tommy asked me about that, and he goes, "Is there a specific reason why we picked those dates?" I go, "Well, we'll do Friday and Saturday, then everybody can travel back home on Sunday. It works out."
Yeah,
He said,
25th and
I kinda like that.
26th.
Yep.
So it's a Friday, Saturday. And I know you guys are coming, or at least Tommy and Rain are coming a little bit early. We're going to run down to the Rag Company to take
I
a look.
wasn't invited on that trip, so
Hey, don't start that here. We'll take that off to the side, son of a bitch.
I had nothing to do with that, but Rasheed, if you want to come out early, I got a couch. So
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
So, in fact,
Yeah,
actually,
Rasheed.
I could pull a mattress into my wife's office, and you could sleep in the office.
I'm good with sleeping wherever. I just got to get a couple hours. I'm good to go.
All right.
Hey,
well,
and
we'll come out a day early. We'd love to have you.
For everybody coming from out of town too, it's super simple. When you land, like Jody could throw a baseball and hit baggage claim from where we're sitting right now. We are right at the airport, and there's hotels.
And there's two hotels right across the street.
So people don't have to look at like, well, I got to get a rental car. I got to do this. I got to do that. We make it very easy. Like when Richard was out here, we were shuttling people back and forth. And
I'm ready to go look for some elk and some moose and some alpacas.
That's Canada.
I don't know about the alpacas.
What about llamas?
There's no alpacas, but we can get you some elk probably. So fly out Sunday night, and we can go drive around Sunday.
I don't care if you see an elk or not, because every time I go to Florida, I always look for damn alligators. I had to go to Gatorland to be able to see an alligator.
That's what I said. I go to Florida 3-4 times a year, and I've yet to see an alligator in the goddamn wild.
All right. Yeah. When I bring an alligator, don't run. Okay.
So
I'll take it.
So Tommy, where do people go to get signed up?
Angelwaxus.com. Go to tickets and sign up right there. Right now, it's the only event under the tickets. $650, 2 days. You're going to get certificates, and when you leave, you're going to get a $250 gift certificate to spend in the store on anything that you want.
Yep. So I will put a link in the comments post show so that you guys can have a direct link to that. We'd really love to have you. Rod and I will be here. Detail Kid, Steve's been kind enough to open the shop. Yep. Can have the amazing Angelwax team, so it's going to be a little laid back, but it's going to be a lot of intensive learning.
And we're starting at 8 o'clock.
8 a.m. bright and early.
That's just for you, Rain.
Yeah, that's for Rain. 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
There's going to be a wealth of knowledge passed around, more than you'll get probably anywhere else. So I recommend making this trip.
And when we had the detail summit, that's what it was. Rain showed everybody a toxic. What would you call that, Jody? A metaphor?
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yes.
So I think we need to start putting that for every training, so everybody understands.
Dude,
what it does to your body.
That was definitely good. So yeah, we definitely need to incorporate that. So
Yep.
maybe
That
maybe
that in the mental health side of it, because I
yes.
don't think everybody knew. It's, like I said, I struggle still. So
Well,
you
I
know,
think we'll do a little motivational stuff with the thing that I shared, and we'll do that, and we'll get some stuff to manage the chaos of life and owning a business
Yep.
from Rain. And yeah, no, it's good. So,
that is
well,
not
thank you
edibles.
guys. Yeah, it's not edibles. Well, if you want edibles, you got to go across the border here. It's only
Uh,
45 minutes away. So.
Close.
How far are you from Montana?
Oh
That's
no.
the other side. We're like far from Montana.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
But we're
40
45
minutes from
minutes,
Oregon.
45 minutes to Oregon. So,
We should go there.
all right. Well, there's not much to see over there. So, we'll take you north and get you a tour of Idaho. So, it'll be fun.
There we
So,
go.
well,
Sweet.
we're looking forward to seeing you. Rasheed, if you're going to come out a day earlier and not hang with those guys at the rag company, you can hang with me. That'd be great.
Got it.
And the rest of you guys, thank you so much for tapping in. Please go out to angelwax.us
USA.
Angelwaxus.com.
and select tickets, get registered. Where it's going to be a great event.
Yep.
And we will see you then. Thanks for joining me, Steve.
Thanks for having me.
Tommy and Rasheed, thank you guys for your time. I know you guys got to actually get to work. Actually, I have to get to work too, but this is my favorite part of work. So, anyway, you guys have a great day, and we will check
Thank you.
same time,
Appreciate
same
it.
bad channel just next week. See ya.
Ready?
And where is